So on this week's show, we have got Grant Thompson from Tipple. Hello, Grant.
Hi, how you doing?
Really good, really good. So you've got an app called Tipple over here in the UK. Can you sort of explain what it does and a little bit more about yourself and how you've got into this position?
Yeah. So I'm sure millions of people that get dead excited about going to a city or a city break or even just going out on a night out. But then when you actually try and have a night out, you don't know where to go. You haven't
Hmm.
got it. You end up in a venue which is a bit rubbish. Might not be your tastes. Might not sell the drinks you like, and really it puts a bit of a dampener on. So you actually end up going on looking for another one and then another one and then another one, and you end up not having this romantic experience that you thought you were going to have actually before you got to the city or before you had your night out. So I created an augmented reality app, which is really cool, being called the Pokemon Go bars in the press, because we allow people to scan, so they can just pick the phone up and scan around, and it shows bars in their area, a little description, and if they've got any deals on suitable to them. We also have a filtration system, so it allows an individual to basically pick their bars and their drinks preference, and from that they can create routes around the city. So whether that's one bar or 10 bars, it's completely up to them. If they're 10, obviously we want to make sure that they're not wobbling too bad. But the main thing is that they're going to be put into bars that actually they're looking for.
Brilliant. So, for example, if I'm out and about in London and I'm not that familiar with it because I live in Birmingham, although I do a bit of work down there, going for an evening out maybe with a client or something like that, and I'm looking for a bar and they want to drink gin, what do I do? Where do I start?
Yeah, so you basically, as what happens when you open the app, it actually asks you destinations, so it can find out the the points that are closest to you, because we always also have the option of doing a pre-planned route. So if you were picking to say go to somewhere else, you can put that in and actually find out the details in there as well. But you're in London, you put in spirits, and then what happens is it'll ask you a few more questions like what's your favorite type of bar, as in traditional or wine bar or cocktail bar. Then it'll ask you your drink. It'll ask you how old you are, because if you're someone like me, and horrendous to say that I'm 40, I don't really want to end up in somewhere that's full of 18-year-olds. So it asks your age, and then basically what it'll do is pull up all the venues in that area that are suitable to your filtered system, and it'll lead you around them on a GPS system.
Awesome. And so this sounds like it must be a huge amount of work to get set up. How have you, have you been out and about in London, like tasting drinks in every bar and doing sort of demographics, or how have you kind of worked this out? Have you got a team out there that kind of checking out who is in these bars and which ones are good?
Yeah, well, what my background is in hospitality. I've been looking after social groups and corporate groups for about 12 years now. So looking after their corporate events or just a weekend away, stag and hen. We've been basically been linking up for friends' parties. So I've got to know cities from a group perspective. And then what I wanted to do was got to know it as an individual as well. So we did go to bars and talk to them about how would you best interlink to your footfall. So how would you best get the person coming through? So we it's not only just for the users, because the great thing is if it's there for the users and we put deals on for the users, so they go and have a great time, they get cheaper drinks, they might get specials, but we actually want the bars to be interacting all the time. So you have a live platform, because you know yourself that if you have something that's outdated or not up to date, you get a little bit frustrated. So what we're doing at the moment is we're walking around talking to all the bars, making sure that they're educated on how to input the information and make sure that they're live with the right information all the time. So yeah, I've tried a few gins, to be fair, and we've been in a few bars. But the main thing about that was more definitely for a research point of view.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have an excuse like this and call it research, be able to
Yeah.
call that a business expense. So that's good fun. So I really like the idea of it. How did you actually come up with the idea? I know you say you've worked in the corporates and things like that. Was it to kind of bring that expertise to everyone and have it in their pocket, or what was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, so the slogan of the whole company and Tipple itself is become a local in every city. And the main thing for me is that so many people have this romantic idea, as I was sort of touching on before, that you pre-plan everything through things like Booking.com, TripAdvisor things. So you have a hotel, you look on TripAdvisor for maybe a restaurant or something, but when you get there, you still need information.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know where to go. You still have that pain point of like, oh my word. And what we want that interaction of just pulling the phone up and being able to have a look around and actually starts telling you where the best places to go for your preferences. But yeah, it came from people just getting lost. You see people, I'm based in Newcastle at the moment, but you see people wandering around all the time just asking where's the best place to go for this and where's the best place to go for that. And we also actually did a little bit of research talking to reception staff in hotels in Newcastle. And we found that when we were talking to them, they averagely spent 8 minutes telling someone where the best place to go is. And no disrespect to the people that they were giving the information to, but they said, go left and you'll find it, go around the corner. And what they'd find is they'd tell them the information, they'd walk left, 2 minutes later, you'd see them walk back the other way and go to somewhere else. So we wanted something that was really handy on the phone. You feel as if it's a bit of your night out actually there, because the long-term view is our IP will develop as you would go to a new city and the app Tipple would know your preferences. So if you dropped into Leeds, it would know that you like gin, it would send you to the places that you prefer, and it means that your experience is just getting better and better every time.
Awesome. And so which cities is it that you're already in? Because I know there's certain cities in the UK that you've kind of focused a bit more on already, and I'm guessing there's others sort of in the pipeline.
Yeah, so we've done a test in London. We've done tests in Newcastle is the majority of where the majority of the work's been done over the last 12 months. We've started to put in data for Leeds and Manchester. And really what we're looking to do over the next 12 months is to filter the information for the whole of the country. So I know that Birmingham is a big city and a lot of people are looking to do that. And that actually comes down to the reason why it's actually spelt the way we are spelt. So Tipple is Tipll. And the reason why that is because we want to develop a local legend situation with the double L on the end. So what it means is that people in the local areas will be actually telling the app, giving the app information on the hidden gems, where's good to go. And we want to open it up as well. So it's not just about sort of bars and pubs, but it also starts integrating with things like coffee shops, restaurants, things like that as we go along. But you know yourself, you don't want to put your fingers in too many pies, so we're just keeping focused on making this the best nighttime app there is.
Cool. And so at this point then, is it something that you want bars to get in touch with you to get on board with this, or are you going to have like ambassadors or members of the general public that can kind of submit their bars? Is that something that can happen now, or is that down the line?
So that'll happen in the next month, so 4 weeks. Online, you'll have nominate a bar. It's completely free for a bar to get involved. Mm-hmm. And what we're actually doing in terms of a bar, so it's all great, as I said before, for the users, and we think that's going to be really, really good. But from the point of view of the bar, they can actually put their own roadmap, their promotional roadmap into the app, and it will allow change and people to know what they're doing, because there's plenty. I've worked in the bar trade before, and there's lots of times when you'll get a customer coming in a day after you've done a promotion, and they're like, oh, if I only knew that this was on. So that is one of the key things that we educate the bars on how to put the information in, making sure it's live all the time. But yeah, it's free. We're going to have brand ambassadors that are going to be in these cities, creating routes based on drinks preferences. So there'll be a gin route, there'll be a craft ale route, there'll be a cocktail route, and they're going to be going live all over our socials. But on the spin side, we really want that idea of having those local brand ambassadors really pushing forward this app as something to use, because we want people to use it again and again, not just, oh yeah, I'm having a night out with my mates. It's not about that. You could have a romantic night out with your partner. You could have a corporate night out. You could do anything.
Brilliant. So I guess the next thing is there anything else in particular you want to kind of point out with the app, or where people can find you guys online?
Yeah, so we are at www.tipple.co.uk, but you can download it in the Apple iTunes, and you can also download it on Android. The main thing is that we are a startup. There's huge amounts of development going on, so we're really looking for people to have a little bit of gentleness with us at this time to let us know how it's going. If there's any problems, we want the app to be about the user experience. So we really want them to sort of say, actually, it's not so good in this area, but it's great in this area, or hopefully it's really good in this area, but there's a few changes I'd make. We want all that type of advice, because it's actually for you. It's not for me, it's for you. And also the way we're looking at it, some of the big things that we're looking to do is we've had some great conversations with some big financial institutions and about putting an e-wallet system directly into the app. So what that would mean is that if you go out with a few people, you can create a kitty system. It means that you can pay through a contactless payment system or an e-commerce payment system while you're in the bar. It also means that you can sort of track, in a sense, how much you've drank or how much you're spending in case you're looking to budget for things. But from our point of view, it was about the user experience again, and saying, well, actually, you're looking to be able to buy stuff directly while you're sitting there, and making sure that you don't have to go to the bar even on that case. That's where we're looking at things to be going. But also the collaborations that we're looking to do as well is that we've designed a concept called Nibble, which will be for coffee shops, restaurants, that type of sort of coffee shop culture, so people know where's a great coffee and where the best restaurants are for their tastes, sort of vegan, you know what I mean, all this type of stuff. And we're also developing at the moment a concept called Giggle, which is for festivals and gigs. We've all been in the situation, or a lot of us, where we've gone to a festival and we haven't got a clue where the toilet is. So you end up wandering around not knowing what's going on. Then you've missed your band that you went to see, and now you're really hungry. You don't know what food stalls they've got. So the main thing of what we're trying to do is just make sure that every time you scan around, anything that's in front of you will jump into your phone and educate you on what's there. So that's the bars, that's the restaurants, that's everything. But initially with Tipple, it's about making sure that if you're not sure and you want to be a bit sporadic, you can still just hold it up and go, actually, look, there's a great deal on over there. I'm going to pop in there and take advantage of that. And actually, where am I going to go now? You might not even use the route building part of the app, and just go scan to scan. But it's really exciting for technology to be able to sort of have this platform where people can just pick up the phone and get more information. There is obviously Google Maps and things like that, but the idea is that the simplicity of just going, there you go, let's Tipple it and see what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really like the way that sort of technology and everything's kind of melding together with the bar industry. Like, I always sit there, and obviously next week we've got the Apple keynote, I think, coming up. So we've got new gear coming out, and I always sit there and kind of live tweet it as like, how can we integrate this with the bar industry?
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that side of things. Cool. I've got a couple of questions that I normally ask to anyone I interview, and bearing in mind that most of the people that I interview are bartenders and things like that, don't worry if you haven't got an answer straight away. But if you could drink in any bar in the world, I don't know how many you've visited and where you found the best bars, where would you be sitting?
So Santiago in Chile is an amazing place to have a drink.
Okay.
We went over there playing a bit of rugby. I really loved it. I also like Toulouse is really nice. If we're talking about the UK, when I was doing a little bit of work in London, I came across a little pub near Little Venice called Prince Albert, which was such a crazy pub. You had to bend down to go through certain places, and it had all the old structure. The pub was okay, but the drink was okay, but the actual pub was amazing. So yeah, there's loads. And then if you go into Newcastle, you've got things like the Pitch and Piano on the quayside is just a great place to sit and have an outside pint.
Cool. And then I guess the other one that probably applies most to you is, if you could only drink one drink for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I like red wine. Yeah. It doesn't like me so much.
Yeah.
But I do like finding a good red wine, and and sort of I like testing different red wines and seeing what's available because I think there's new wines coming out all the time. I found this one called 19 Crimes. You've probably seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing to do with. It's just coincidence that it's got an augmented reality link into it. But it is a really good wine, I think. But it's cool that you can scan around and it tells you the story of the wine. So
is it one of those augmented reality labels on that one?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, again, this is the sort of stuff that I think is brilliant, and there's actually a vermouth brand out there called Termion, which has got an animated label, but you don't have to use your phone. It's literally just like a twist on the label itself, like a sleeve that it's covered with, but it animates the label around the bottle, and it looks awesome.
Ah, great.
Well,
we've got some really good craft ale, like Wylam Brewery up here is doing exceptionally well at the moment, so it's they're bringing out new beers all the time. It's really good.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Where's the best places for people to find you on social?
So we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we're on Facebook at Tipple app. But we'd love you just to download it and have a try and then come back with what's going on. If it's not in a city that you're based in, we will be very soon. And just please have a little bit of patience with us. But if it's not in the city in terms of the filtration, just say plan a route straight away and it'll pull up all the bars in that city straight away and you can just plug the route in and actually have a route going live. Great thing about it is I can actually see who's created the routes and what's going on and all this type of stuff. But we're really sort of hand out, cap out type people. We're very humble. We want to make sure that we're creating something that people use. I know all app people say this, but in terms of making sure that people have that experience. Because I'm based in Newcastle, everyone thinks it's the biggest party city in the country, but everyone thinks every city is the biggest party city in the country. But you want people to have that experience that, oh my God, it was amazing. You know what I mean? And that's what the app's all about. But we're very soon going to be going into Dublin, Galway, Cork, moving across to Ireland. We've had some real interest from some brands to take the product into America, which would be really exciting. But again, we're just at a really early stage, so we want to make sure that the product's perfect before we start doing things like that.
Oh, great stuff. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we will catch you on the next BartenderHQ.com podcast.
Thanks very much, guys. All the best. Don't remember, download it now. Thanks.